Morning. So this is your written wisdom lesson for Monday, May the 10th. We are on Module 4 and we are on day 21 today. We're so close to being to the end of Module 4. I can't believe it. So before we get started, I want to share with you our questions for the day. As you know, our essential question for Module 4 is, how does food nourish us? Okay, so that is our big question for Module 4. Our medium-sized question for Module 4 for this series of books is, where does nourishing food come from? And then our small questions for today. How does this text, the vegetables we eat, build my knowledge of where nourishing food comes from? Where can it come from? And then our craft question for today is, how do I improve by focusing question task 3? And you guys were supposed to write your focusing question task on Friday, so you should have that done so that you can do today's lesson. We're also going to talk about commas today, and we're actually going to do that right now because I have meant to do that a few times and I keep forgetting. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I'm going to share my screen. All right. We know that when we have a date, like the date is May 3rd, 2017, where does that comma need to go? It goes between the date and the year. Good. And when we have a list of things, when we have more than 2 things listed, we need to put a comma between them. We talked about this right before TCAPs. So if I eat apples, comma, bananas, then a comma, grapes, put a comma, and pineapples. So we need to make sure we put a comma between each of the individual items. Now this is the part right here that I told you was a little bit tricky because the new way of doing it is to not put that comma there. So you will see it either way. You'll see it with the comma there or without the comma there. It really just depends on who is writing that sentence. Okay, so why do writers use commas to write dates and to separate items in a series? Why do you think they do that? Well, commas tell you that you need to pause or that you need to stop. And the commas stops your ideas and your words from all running together. Let's go back and look at the sentence and let's take out the commas. And then I'm going to read it the way it should be read without commas. I eat apples, bananas, grapes, and pineapples. My words all ran together. But if I put those commas back in, now it sounds like this. I eat apples, bananas, grapes, and pineapples. The commas tell me to pause when I am reading. It helps the reader figure out which words and phrases go together, like the date up here. The date is May 3rd, 2017. I paused there. If there's no comma, I would say the date is May 3rd, 2017. We need that comma there to help the reader pause. So we are going to practice with a letter. Let's look at this letter first, okay? It says May 5th, 2019. There's a comma between the date and the year. Dear class, there's that comma right there. Today we will write letters thanking others for the food we eat. Sincerely, there's a comma there, Mrs. Chandler. So here's an example. There's a comma after the name, Like if it were to say, Dear Jacqueline, there would be a comma there. If it said, Dear Thomas, there would be a comma there. Okay, you put a name after, put a comma after the name in a greeting to separate the greeting from the letter. And there's a comma after the word sincerely. That tells us to pause when we read it. So let's practice up here. We are missing some commas. Where should I put the first one? Yeah, I need that first comma right here after Dear Miss Gibbons, because there's already a comma up here in the date. We didn't need to add one up there. Thank you for teaching me about the different kinds of vegetables we eat. I never knew that there were 8 different categories of vegetables. Sincerely, we need a comma there, Edgar. Very good. Okay. So now that we have done that, we can get started on our video lesson for today, which is super short, but you are going to need your journal and your writing from Friday. So go ahead and get that out.
Welcome back, nutrition experts. I'm Sue Sabella, your Great Minds teacher. Let's see what we need for today. Today, you'll need your journal and a pencil. So please pause here to gather what you need and just hit play when you're ready to continue. You drafted a paragraph that explains how to grow food on a big farm. You'll be using that draft to help you answer this question. How do I improve focusing question task 3? Please pause here to make sure you have your draft handy and just hit play when you're ready to continue. As we work together during today's lesson, we'll be focusing on temporal words, linking words. I'd like you to look closely at the checklist for success, and please point to or gently underline with your finger the phrase that talks about 1 or 2 temporal words to connect steps. In this lesson, you'll be revising your writing by adding more temporal words. When we use temporal words at the beginning of a paragraph, we're signaling to our reader that these are the beginning steps. There are words and phrases that are very helpful to use at the beginning of a process. Read these words with me. First, to start with, in the beginning. When we're letting our reader know that these are the steps that occur in the middle of a process, there are words and phrases that can be very helpful to use. Let's choral read these words together. In addition, next, second, then. At the end of the process, we're signaling to our reader that this is the last step in the process, the end step. Let's read the temporal words for the end step together. Finally, in the end, lastly, at the end, at last. Now I'd like you to check your paragraph for temporal words. Please pause here to read over your paragraph. I'd like you to underline the first few words in each sentence and then circle the temporal words that you see. Just hit play when you're ready to continue.
Okay, so you are going to read your paragraph to yourself quietly. And then I want you to circle or highlight. I highlighted my temporal words. So I used the words first, next, then, and lastly in my paragraph. So you are going to read yours to yourself or to a family member, and then I want you to circle or highlight the temporal words that you used, okay? And when you are done with that, you can push play to continue. And remember, here's a big list of temporal words that you could have used.
Thanks for taking the time to locate or find the temporal words that you already have in your draft. Now, I'd like you to take a look at the check mark in the corner. You know what that check mark means. Your teacher will take this opportunity to check in with you. This time, it will be about the temporal words that you include in your paragraph. Let's take a look at how you can use temporal words to make your paragraph even stronger. You will pause here to add temporal words to writing. Number 1, find words on the temporal words chart. Number 2, say the words aloud. Number 3, add the words to your paragraph. If you read over your paragraph and you have all the temporal words that you need, but you'd like to change one to make your paragraph even stronger, now is the perfect time to do that. Another thing, if you feel that there's a temporal word missing that would make your paragraph stronger, now is the time to add that word. Take as much time as you need and just hit play when you're ready to wrap up today's lesson. Whenever we're writing about a process, we can make our writing even stronger by using temporal words. Share some of those temporal words with others and share your knowledge about nutrition and nourishment with others. And I will see you again soon, my friends.
Okay, so you should have read it to yourself, circled or highlighted your temporal words. If you did not have temporal words for all 4 steps in that process, then you were supposed to add temporal words in. You need 1 temporal word for each step in that 4-step process that we wrote about. So that means you need how many temporal words? 4. If you do not have 4, you need to add them in. Now, rather than making you put a picture up in another Google slide, because you already gave me a picture of your writing, what I would like for you to do is you're going to take a picture and include it into today's assignment. So let me show you what I mean. So when you go to today's assignments, I'm just going to use this as an example. Okay, so when you log into the view the assignment, you have a box over here, because it's not on mine because I'm on my teacher account, but you have a box over here that says, like, you know, to turn in, where the turn in button is, and underneath it there's a little plus sign. Well, if you click the little plus sign, you can add a photo to the assignment. So what I want you to do is I want you to click that, and I want you to add your picture of where you highlighted or circled your words straight to the assignment. Let me see if I know that, Wilson, I'm going to use you as an example because I know that you usually give me photographs. That one. Let's see. I'm going to go back a few weeks. Let's do this one. The video. Hold on. Okay, view assignment. I'm gonna go to, like, see how you guys added pictures? Straight to it. I know Wilson adds pictures to his. So he, instead of putting it in his Google slide, he sends me actual photographs of his. So you just add a picture to it, okay? So it'll come up like that. So there's a little plus sign. You click the plus sign and it'll say like add photo, add document. You have all kinds of things you can choose from. This is taking forever. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm not going to show you that because it won't let me because it's taking forever. Okay, so you're going to click the little plus sign and add a photograph to the assignment rather than putting it into a Google slide today, okay? That's just one less step that you need to worry about. And so that's it. That's all that we have for today. We talked about commas in sentences, and we talked about temporal words, and you are supposed to find or add temporal words into your steps in a process writing from last Friday. So one last thing to do is our word of the day. Fail. I don't like that one. We're going to try a different one. I wish I could take that word out. Fall. Fall is the word of the day. Fall. Okay. So that's all that I have for you today. Have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow. And don't forget, Friday is virtual field day. So I hope you are practicing. You have decided which events you want to participate in. Make sure you're gathering up all your supplies and that you're practicing how to do it. And Friday is going to be a fun day. So don't forget. Bye, guys.